It's fashion. It's fashion.
Oh, you got real Mexican right there. You got super Mexican. What's up, guys? We are back in the studio, and we are here with my very, very funny, you're probably smarter than me, Natasha Chandel. Chandel or Chandel?
Chandel is the real right Indian way of saying it.
Can I buy a vowel?
But
what
you
the hell
can
do you, what the hell?
say
Chandel.
You can say Chandel.
Say it
that
again.
makes me sound
Chandel.
super exotic. Chandel.
Chandel. Ooh.
Yeah, Chandel.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I feel like I just
that was, you hit a spot.
Jack just came from hearing my last name.
Chandel. That's a really interesting. It's better than my last. My last name sucks.
How do you say your last
My
name?
correct way of saying my last name is Asadurian.
Asadurian.
Oh, look at when you say that.
Hey.
Yeah, Asadurian. But everyone says Asadorian.
Yeah.
Everyone says what's a way where your last name people you hate when you hear it?
Chandel.
Chandel.
If somebody says that, I get like.
I think I just said Chandel right now.
No, you said like I try to say like Chandel. Chandel.
Is your first name really Natasha though?
Yes. You literally ask every question that I tell people.
I know
that Americans ask me.
But the thing is, no one knows. That's how I'm. Just
I know. No,
this is called,
no. I hear you.
This is called setting you up.
Yeah.
For
No,
your jokes,
I appreciate
it.
it.
But you're not going with it. She's not going with me.
I'm trying not to make it a bit.
Well, that's how.
Should we?
But that's how like a lot of TV shows do. They ask you questions that I already know your answer to, but I'm helping the viewers know. But no one gives a shit about me what I'm doing. Anyways, very funny comedian.
Thank you.
And then how long you been doing it for?
Not that long, like a year and a half.
That's what's crazy. That's a scary thing. It's a beautiful thing, but it's also like, what the fuck? Like, dude, I remember I was doing comedy probably for 3-4 years, and I probably wasn't at your level already. You're very, very likable on stage and very, very funny. Thank you.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. I feel a lot of imposter syndrome.
I know you told me that on the phone over there.
Yeah, I'm always like, yeah.
What's imposter syndrome?
It's like when you don't feel like you deserve to be somewhere. You know, you're like, I'm a fucking fraud, and they're all gonna see. But I'm like, but I'm already an overachieving Indian. Like I work 10 times harder at
100%.
everything.
Do you have like a master's in something?
Listen. You just undercut my Indianness in one line. No, I have. Okay. I am not overly educated. I just work really hard.
Okay.
I have a fucking.
So
BA.
You're Mexican.
I have a BA in radio and television, but I did get scholarships and like all that traditional shit into like science programs.
Oh no way!
But like I decided to go into entertainment.
That's great. And then
I regret
you're
my
a
life.
writer too.
Yeah.
Writer.
TV
so
writer,
how'd you do that?
I was like, I was producing for a long time. I always wanted to be a writer, but like in Canada, that's where I grew up. There's no like big writing path. Like there were only kids shows, and I'm not kid friendly.
Yeah, if you hear her material, she's definitely not good.
Yeah, I probably say the word cunt way too many times.
Yeah, more than I've ever said in my
life. Very confidently. And then there was like Degrassi. That was the only shows in Canada. So then I was like, I got into producing and then finally, you know, did all that shit for a really long time and was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You make it sound like you're freaking 65 years old. You're not that old.
I know.
But
I've been working since I was 16.
I've been doing this for a very long time.
Because I got my
25?
first job when I was
25?
16. I play between 20 to 30.
Okay. So she's 32.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, that's fine.
This is the LA talk, right? It's all very vague.
Very vague. Are you single or married?
I'm in a relationship.
Oh, there you go. So
yeah.
It wasn't very vague.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like I'm married.
I'm dating. I said, people say, I'm just like people are married in Hollywood. Like, we're just seeing somebody.
No, our thing is like we're not on like social media, so we don't because you know it's like my Instagram is all just business, like comedy shit, and his is like his music shit. Yeah. So we're like we don't need to do that. Everybody knows about him. He comes to my shows, and
he's at all your shows. He's very supportive.
He's very supportive, and now I've gotten to be like, okay, boo boo.
You don't have to go
coming to my show.
You're like a parent at school.
You know why?
I don't need you to come, Dad, no more.
Because he'll come after and he'll be like, this bit, maybe I'm like, no. Yeah. Don't get that comfortable.
You can't do that. I don't tell you to write your songs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's not. No.
I remember when I first met you and you booked you on the show at the Haha Comedy Club. You came and you were with him. And I was first meeting you, so I was just trying to kind of like get to know you and your stand-up. And you were so wifed up in the corner. Like they were like all arm around. She was just like, ah, and I'm like, okay, this girl's not a comic. I'm like, this is a hobby. I thought it was a hobby.
No, it's not that. My thing, I do, I am pretty.
Calm down. I am pretty.
No. I meant I'm pretty like serious about like because it's hard for me because like I don't like drinking during shows. I don't like do drugs and stuff, and which it's common in our world, and that's totally fine.
It's everywhere.
It's just that like I just kind of swoop in, do my thing, and then swoop out.
100%.
But like I'm trying to get better. Like you've always been awesome with me. Like you chat, and I try to chat with people, but I also like don't linger. Because I'm like, I have a meeting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I gotta go, and then I just like bust out.
You literally you're in and out, and that's I feel like as a new comic, you need to hang out more.
I know,
and build relationships and get like after every show, you should walk out there with 2 numbers for another show. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just stuck in a funk, and then they go, "How come they don't book me?" I'm like, "Because you're only in this circle. Like you need to expand yourself." But you're doing way better now. You're everywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying. Well, I mean, I'm trying to get out there. I mean, thank you so much. I feel like I always have to say, I always say thank you to you because you gave me a lot of like. Well,
Eric Rivera hooked this up, right?
Yeah,
Eric Rivera, very funny comedian. I'm actually gonna have him back on the podcast. He's great.
Such a good dude.
He told me about you. So I was like,
yeah.
He said you were a writer on a show called
Mr. Iglesias.
Mr. Iglesias, yeah.
Funny enough, like I am again, like I'm not Mexican.
but they're like, she looks Mexican-ish. Let's make her a writer.
It worked for me.
Did you write a whole episode, or were you a punch up, or was it?
No, I mean we were on the whole season, and then we got an episode. So there's a lot of like bits from all of us, like through the episodes. I've named an episode.
Yeah,
I have an episode in my name. That's great. That I wrote.
Tell us about the episode. Tell us about which was your favorite one.
Oh man, we had season 2 was really fucking awesome. If people haven't watched it.
I watched all of them.
Okay, well like Joe Coy was so great.
He was great.
Man, I have so many like favorite episodes. My favorite bit, I mean, this is totally a humble brag, but there's a scene between the high schoolers in the thing, and they're texting. I
like the dumb one. What was
the Fabrizio is the actor who plays. So good.
But I love you.
Exactly.
Like it's such a teenager.
And him and the Marisol character end up like. He's trying to ask her out and they start to date, and there's a whole text exchange where he's like, oh my God, we texted over the summer. It's like, hi. And then she's like, hi. And then he goes, now look what I said. Hi. And it's just like this ridiculous. And then, but he wrote like hi, period. Yeah. And then they're like, oh my God, you shouldn't have said that. And he's like, no, she'd be fine. Like, she's smart. And then we cut to her and she's like, look at him. He said, give me a period. And so, like, I'm always, like, very proud of that bit. Because I'm like, I'm so in with the Gen Zers.
Totally.
All these kids. I know how they
Did that happen to you growing up with like, letters? Or no?
Oh, man. I feel like I'm, like,
was there texting for you? No.
Yeah. I had a phone. I had a cell phone when I was 14. So, like, I was, like, early adopter of phones.
Yeah.
And you know when you think that you were, like, conning your parents at the time?
Flip phone? Was it
I had the red Nokia.
Red Nokia, okay.
Shit, that aged me. I take that back. Delete
She was born in 91.
No, but you know, like, you remember when, like, texts used to cost, like, $3.99 a text?
Yeah.
And I don't know, Indian girls, like, we're not allowed to date, but I always had a boyfriend. Yeah. So I used to think that I was being super sneaky. But I forgot who was paying my bills. Yeah. So I would be like texting my boyfriend. And my parents are like, we know you have a boyfriend. I'm like, I don't, you don't fucking know shit. And you know, I used to like talk on the phone and hold it like really close, thinking like they can't hear it's a guy's voice. And I used to be like, it's my friend Jennifer.
It's my friend Jennifer.
And they're like, Jennifer has a very deep voice.
Well, she's transitioning.
She's a very early adopter of that.
That's crazy.
It was a funny time back then.
So you kind of transition when you write these scripts, like your life experiences.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest thing that they always look for writers in a room. Yeah. Number one, you got to be able to like write. So your sample has to be kick-ass. But then their big thing that they're looking for is like, what life experience do you bring that you can talk about in a room? Because it ends up being like the most intimate shit ever. Yeah. Like people cry and, you know, everybody's divulging secrets at some point because you're trying to come up with ideas and it's all got to be rooted in reality, right? So if I'm going to pitch an idea, I would say, oh, this happened with my dad at this time. So I think like maybe this character could do this. And then you're like, oh, it's rooted, and then that usually sparks somebody else to go, oh yeah, my dad used to do blah, blah, blah. And then you guys put the whole thing
together. See, that's why you are so good at stand-up, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It literally is the same thing. We're in a room, but you're doing it all by yourself, and that's all people want to hear is a story about you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's especially like starting out, I was very conscious of like, oh, how do I make myself be unique? And the only way I can be unique is like telling the story of how my ex cheated on me with grandmas. I'm like, nobody can fucking steal that. Nobody can steal that. Who can say that happened? If they did, then I'll be like, fuck you.
I mean, some of the grandmas in LA are pretty hot.
They are mad hot. Like, I couldn't blame him. Blame him.
Damn, she looks good.
And I was also like, if you had to hold up like a hot gilf, I guess, like, are they called gilfs? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's what they should be called. But there are some hot ones. And then me, I'm like, pick her, because she's probably like worked through her emotional issues. And then me, I'm like going to come with you with fucking triggers and baggage. And she's like, I don't care.
So is your dude super supportive of her comedy now?
Yeah, he's very supportive. He's of everything I do. Like
everything?
And he's like very secure. That's the other reason it works out. Because of course, like he's not like, we're actually, I admit, he and I joke about this all the time. Like people think we're gross. Like he and I are very like touchy-feely. Like we are like that. And I truly do like love him. Like even PDA, when we go to we'll go to a party and like we'll still be like dancing.
You guys are so gross.
I know, and some people actually come to us and they're like, "Dude, are you guys really like
new?
or like the people who are faking it because like it's really shitty at home, and so they're like outside like act like we're in love." But we're not. We actually are just like that. Like he's a wonderful human. So it's very no, he really is. Like I can't say any shit about him. I want to, trust me. I'm like, I want to get at him in my stand up.
But then you can't.
You're stupidly nice. Like what
that's
the fuck
that's a tough thing, because honestly, to be a really good stand up, you have to be heartbroken, get your heart broken, and
I have
you have
plenty
to have
of those.
So much drama.
And that's my good thing. I have enough of that in my life that now I'm like, oof. I think God was like, give her a break.
Give her a break. Find him a good one. That's cool.
I'm actually now starting to talk about like things of like how I used to be in a cult, which is also the true story.
You were in a cult?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Which one?
Yeah. It was called VRRP, so it's not like it's like an Indian cult. It was fucking insane. But I always tell people, I'm like, there was no sex involved. I'm like
all ears out. Yeah. Like, what happened?
No, I got roped into it by the head of my dance company. I was in a dance company, and the head of our dance company is this big Bollywood star, and he saw that like I was not great with like my parents, and just fucking rope you into this fucking shit.
How long ago was this?
Oh, now this is a while ago. Now I can talk about it. That's the reason I didn't even find it funny for so long, and then people were like, "Wait." It's like
I'm so interested.
Like comedy is rooted in tragedy, right?
Yeah, totally.
When I used to tell people that I got cheated on with grandmas, which is also a true story, I was living with him, and I was like, and he fucking fucked a fucking grandma, and I would talk about like how I found like a receipt of condoms, and it was like a 10-pack, and it was $50.
Yeah.
And I was like, what kind of fucking condoms were these? Like double ribbed with lube and spermicide? Like, did they have Swarovski crystals? Fucking hand paint? Like, but it was all out of anger, and people would keep laughing, and they were like, this is really funny. I'm like, fucking pain isn't funny.
It is funny.
The
most dramatic, the most thing that hurts you the most are always going to come out. Sound funnier.
But I think like, what do you think? Because about comedians who like talk about it when it's too fresh. I think sometimes like that becomes.
It's the best.
Is that good?
I talk about fresh.
I feel like I can't.
When I fight with my girl at home, I immediately go to a comedy club and I talk about it. I literally talk about it.
Yeah.
And it feels so good. Like the other day we went to the doctor, right? The doctor told us. In my face, he goes, you guys can't have sex because she's 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
We can't have sex because she has a thing called placenta previa.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he said
my friend had that, yeah.
You can't have sex because my
hit
thing. So then I'm pissed. I'm like, what do you mean we can't have sex? This is the best time to have sex. She can't get pregnant again.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And then the doctor goes, well, you guys can do other stuff. And I go, holy shit. The doctor just told you to suck my dick. So I went on stage and talked about it.
I thought you were going to be like, what's other stuff?
Yeah.
Like, what else counts? That's like literally the reason. Like I tell people like I might want a kid one day. I just do not want one out of me.
Oh, okay.
For reasons like what you just said.
Oh, really?
Like all my friends have had the worst pregnancies. And I don't know why people think I'm the weird one for not wanting a kid.
You don't want kids ever? Or you want maybe?
No, I want one. I just don't want one out of me. So like a surrogate adoption. You're like, there were other ways. There are lots of other ways.
Other ways, really?
I'm like, no. I'm straight up, man. I'm like, I don't want.
Do you want a kid with this guy?
Are you guys getting married? Yeah, we're talking about it.
Oh, are you guys married?
I don't believe in marriage.
Okay, talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I believe in monogamy. I think marriage is bullshit, and I think it's a waste of money. And I'm probably the worst girl on the face of the earth because I'm just like, just give me that money. Can I just like invest it?
Okay, can I tell you something about Indian weddings? Okay, what's up with that?
Stupid.
Okay. I just went to recently. I went to Ali Malik's wedding. And his wedding, he had 2 weddings in the same weekend. He had an Indian one and then an American one. And I went to both of them, and I'm like, I'm giving you one gift, bitch. And like, I had to dress up twice for the same shit. Like the Indian wedding was like a carnival. They were drawing on each other. Everything. There was face painting.
It makes
there was
Bridgerton
clowns,
look like
there was dancing. It wasn't like a wedding. It just felt like it felt like a
show.
It was a show. It was like Cirque du Soleil kind of a thing.
I mean, if only we were
that talented. No, it wasn't that.
But
I feel like they could have combined both weddings into one. Is that a traditional thing for Indians that do 2 weddings?
I mean, they do like 5-day weddings.
They do 5-day weddings?
7-day weddings. 7 days is like the norm. That's like the long end. The shortest is like 4.
Okay.
But that's the reason I'm like, no.
So, dude, you have to talk about this. And you have so much. You're only doing comedy for 2 years, almost 2 years, right?
Yeah, about 2
You have
years.
so much room to grow with just, you don't want to, I want to hear the story about not wanting to get married.
Yeah.
You got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about your disgusting relationship and like how it works. I bet you guys are fucking freaks, dude. I can only imagine. I've seen your TikToks. You're fucking crazy. I mean, like you guys, you have so much room to talk about so many things right now.
Yeah.
So when's the next big show?
Well, I'm hoping. I mean, it's in Toronto. I'm actually going back home.
Are you really?
And well, I'm actually getting anxiety because I have to do my first clean set next week, and I'm like,
that's not happening.
What? And like they gave me the rules, and I was like, I can't say fuck. It's like that's like every other word. Yeah. Full disclosure, guys. I curse a lot. I don't curse at people. There's a big difference, I feel. So like I'll say fuck a lot. I'll never say fuck you. But this is difficult for me because I just say fuck it all the time. It's just
why? Is this something that happened at home?
No,
Did your parents curse a lot?
Is this a
your parents?
Okay.
How does that make you feel? No, I'm just joking.
No, I don't like the idea of attacking. I don't do that in general to people. But yes, like my parents were fucked up. So like they said a lot of things and I was like, "Oh, I don't like saying something."
Okay.
You know,
so what are you going to do then? How much time are you doing?
10 minutes. Clean set.
That's fine. You can do it.
Talk about getting older and shit.
Talk about your last name
and being Indian.
And I want to get married.
Yeah.
We'll write it off for you. It'll be great.
There's a few things that I'm gonna explore in there.
Okay.
And then the big show is in Toronto, or bigger for me is in Toronto. I'm doing like a 15-minute set there, and that's my first time performing back home in Toronto. I don't even know the venue's name. It's called Comedy
something, guys.
Comedy Club? I don't know. I literally don't know it yet.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. So I ask everyone this question. Who do you think has beef with you? Who do you think? Like, you don't know for sure, but you think, like, because comics tend to do this. We build stuff in our own head. Like I was talking about earlier. There was a comic. I don't know. I don't think he likes me. I don't know. Like, is there someone you think that doesn't like you, or you think you have beef with?
I think sometimes, I don't think it's like one person. I don't think I've been around enough for anybody to like not like me, as in for me to gain it, but sometimes I think you don't like me. Like I'm mad like in my head about everything.
I don't like you?
Like, oh man, I couldn't do Jack's show because fucking Omicron was like going crazy. Jack must hate me. Like that's how my brain works.
Oh my god. Well, I did hate you that one time.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's not really me, is it? No, it's gotta be someone you've worked with, or someone that bumped you in the wrong way, or you felt like someone big timed you, like, oh, look at this freaking blah 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 blah.
I mean, here's one thing. So when I went to New York, two of my really good friends are comics there, and they're at the Cellar all the time. And like, but I always wanted to do stand up.
Aziz and who else?
No, they're these two. I don't know if you would even know them, but they're like I wanted to do stand up forever. I just couldn't do it because my work schedule. I was an Indian girl in Toronto. Like I wasn't allowed to go out, let alone like go to a fucking comedy show at night. So. But I grew up watching this. And so these two friends of mine in New York are like mad fucking tight with me. And so when I went to perform at the New York Comedy Festival for the first time in November, I was like, oh my God, freaking out.
Which is a great accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I was on somebody else's show, but like I still understood the weight of that. And I was like, I need to really do well. So I just wanted like a guest spot somewhere. And I wasn't saying like at the Cellar, that would be crazy. But I was just like, do they know any fucking side show that's happening that I could like jump in on? And they ghosted me. And I was like, when people like that I would talk to all the time. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And then one finally got back to me, was like, well, you'd have to audition. And I was like, whoa, I'm not even saying
paid spot.
Or the Cellar. I'm literally saying like Laughing Buddha.
Yeah. I could have got you spots in.
Yeah, and then luckily, what happened? Fucking karma. A random friend emailed the owner of the Stand.
Yeah, me. Was it me?
No.
It wasn't me.
No, it was
Chris Italia.
It was another friend of mine.
I love Chris.
And then the owner of the Stand emails me and is like, hey, I love this guy, but I just want to let you know, like, we're only giving you a spot because the booker had already heard of you. Perfect. And I was like, oh. That's great. How? No idea. Yeah. But I'll fucking take it. And then I was like, fuck you, friends of mine.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, I'm going through that right now. Like, sometimes your biggest friends are the ones that are trying to hurt you. Yeah. They'll hate you the most.
Yeah. I don't want to be like mad nerdy right now, but I'm about to drop a little nerd knowledge on you. It. There's a great book called Give and Take by Adam Grant. Is it on tape? There's an audio book. Yes. Perfect. It is a business book, but he basically talks about the fact that your strongest links in life, whoever you're closest to, are actually the ones who help you the least. Your weakest links usually help you the most because your strongest links have a preconceived notion about you. Yeah. And so they're like, oh, Jack only does this. So like, I wouldn't invite him to do this. But a new person who doesn't know you is like more open to going like, oh yeah, come out, do this thing that you would never normally do. Yeah. I'm sure you'll kill it. Yeah. So it's like a weird thing, right?
That's crazy. I'm going to actually read that book because I read Think and Grow Rich.
Oh my God, best
in 2020.
Wait, did you listen to the audiobook?
I read it.
Written by the one in like the guy with the 1933 accent? Is that
That's my car meter. Sorry. No, but I read that book and it really I've been doing everything in the book and it's been really good. It's really good. Think and Grow Rich, read that. By the way, shout out to our sponsor, Comedy Showcase app. Make sure to download that app, subscribe, get on that, put your stuff out there, send your clips. This app, you put your comedy on there and then the app will send you money if it gets a lot of views. Oh shit. And it's a great way for agents, managers to see new talent.
Oh, I got it. Because you gotta put it on.
A lot of comics are always like, oh, I want to get seen by someone, and they never get seen. This is the place where you go. I put my stuff on there, got some money in my pocket, got a lot of good connections. Make sure to check it out. Comedy Showcase app. So, where were we?
So basically I'm fucking loved. Everybody loves me.
You do. Everyone loves you.
No problems. No. I do think that people are like just waiting for me to fail.
No, but you are loved by a lot of people.
I don't know.
Eric Rivera, how long did you know Eric Rivera before he give you a shout out?
No. I've known Eric from back in the day in New York.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I'm like, I've known Eric for a while. He's never mentioned you ever. And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, can you ever do comedy? And I'm like.
Because we fell off for a long time. Oh, okay. And then when I got on Iglesias, he was writing a show with one of my friends. And I was like, oh, Eric, he and I go way fucking back. Perfect. Yeah. So we used to know each other. But like in general, I'm like, you're a girl. You're like the newbie. Like I said, I did the fucking showcase and I was like, everybody here wants
I remember when you walked into the hall with your boyfriend. like he was your parent, and he goes, "Here, go play." And I was like,
it's also like guys don't try to hit on me. You know, there's got to be a little bit of that.
Has that happened to you a lot?
When he's not around, yes. But
really?
but
like creepy.
I mean, sometimes it's really funny though. It's like people you're like,
hey man, I don't come over and help you ride. Come over my house.
I don't think
it's a really funny joke. How does it go? Hey, come in, buy you drink.
But my point is like, I don't like to think like, oh, out of your league kind of thing. I don't think I'm hot, but at the same time, there are some people that you're like, boo-boo. Really? Like, did you have a lot of confidence. That's all. You drank a lot, didn't you? Because what the fuck did you think was gonna, what?
I was gonna just fuck you in the green room? Yeah, no.
And then other people, you're like, oh yeah, they've just, especially like some of the older ones, the ones who've been around in the circuit for a long time, like they still think that's what you do.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then I just drop boyfriend in a conversation, and then they're like, bye, I'm good. Bye. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I honestly wish a really famous headliner would take advantage of me, because I would be like, let's do it. I was like, you're going to put me
You're like, listen, my wife can't do anything right now.
I said, my wife can't have kids right now. We're having a kid. I need to buy a house. What do I got to do?
I'll suck some dick for a house, man.
I'm Jack. Hey. No, man, that's crazy. But that's I always wonder that about relationship with girls. A lot of girls, if every girl has that situation where comics are trying to be creepy.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of them do. Nobody has done anything like egregious with me, you know? Like, what does that mean? But like,
I'm sorry, like Indian moment.
Yeah, I know. I was like, nerd alert.
AGR. Use it in a sentence.
Nerd alert. That's what we're gonna do every time I say it.
Egregious.
Yeah, like they haven't done anything like really ridiculous or gross
vulgar.
Or vulgar with
me. As big as I get, vulgar.
Yes. So they haven't done any of that. Right. But I do think like I've grown up around boys, so like I kind of know, like I was a tomboy. I know when to stop a conversation, and I'm like, hey man, you don't. And I do this whole thing where I don't. No, can I show you? I'm gonna show you this on camera. I don't friend zone guys. I bro zone them. So if I meet you, I'd be like, hey man, what's up?
What the hell is that? And you've never done that to me. You've never. I hate that. The pat's the worst.
But I'm like, you're all, yeah. You got.
I hate that.
But I do like the full on, like if you still can't do it here, you're like, hey man, behind the back, you're like, hey.
That's full the worst
on,
when
like,
someone hugs
man,
you.
She's like,
That's the worst.
But it's just like how you gotta. You're like, hey man, I'm putting you in like that bro zone. Let's not.
Well, I'm happy. Your dude trusts you. My girl trusts me too, and we're really happy.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good. You travel a lot. I'm not at that point.
Much.
I'm not at a point of like traveling.
You will be.
I hope so.
I mean, one, you're very likable.
Thanks.
You're a very good writer, and I think a lot of good stuff's gonna happen. And you're right where you're supposed to be. Like I said, you're not. You jumped into this life right away. I mean, you came from a writing background, and you won. You're Indian. You're really smart. You what'd you say? Something's gonna happen good for you. I love you. Thank you for being on my podcast.
You're the best, man. I appreciate it. You've always been so supportive, and like you give me good advice.
I give you good advice.
And you're not like you don't give me annoying advice, because there are some male comics who'll come at me and be like, blah, blah. I'm like, boo boo, you're not. I saw you on stage. You're not in the zone to give me some advice right now. But like you, I respect, and you're very funny. So I appreciate it, and I feel like you're gonna blow up. So
thank you so much. I appreciate it. That was nice. This person, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. We're both gonna blow up. Comedy Club Confessions, Comedy Showcase app, Natasha Chandel. Check her out. Where can they find you?
Oh, Natasha Chandel on Instagram, Natasha.Chandel on TikTok. Natasha
and she's going to be in Toronto real soon, and I'll probably take her on the road with me too.
Yeah,
if it's cool with your
please, I would love
it. We'll bring your dude.
He loves
too.
you.
We'll both go all together.
It's okay. We can do things separately.
I haven't watched the baby.
Yes, they can go bond, and we can go bond.
Cheers. Later, guys.
Thanks, man.